Just 2 races remain in the F4 United Arab Emirates Championship 2023, and this could be the one that finishes the title battle once and for all. After an epic run in race 1 for James Wharton, his fastest lap puts him back in pole position once again for race 2, and there's every chance that the Australian could wrap this up. However, Tuka Tarpanen will be keen to ensure that the battle goes on and on. Hello everybody, Jake Sanson here with you once again at the Yas Marina circuit as we have 2 races left in this epic 2023 title battle for the F4 United Arab Emirates Championship. As you can see, the Yas Marina circuit is very familiar to the one that you see in various other categories, but our start-finish straight takes us onto the support race package starting grid. So we are on the other side of the race circuit. And a fabulous battle still in operation here as we gear ourselves up for another exciting challenge. Things have changed a lot since the last time the F4 UAE cars were here. The switch from Hankook tyres to GT has definitely given the teams and drivers a different technical challenge here at the Yas Marina circuit. And it gave us a very interesting first race of the weekend here at Dubai earlier on, where James Wharton and Tuka Tarpanen got to duel for the title and the race win. Let's look back over the best bits. Right from the start, there was drama. Kiana Malazari barely getting away at all. James Wharton having to be aggressive to pull across on Tuka Tarpanen to hold him off in position. And then he overcooked his brakes through the first hairpin, ran a little bit wide, and that allowed Tuka Tarpanen, the Finn, to get alongside him. And that's when things really started to heat up. It's clear that both drivers are motivated and up for the fight, but James Wharton just able to hang on. Then a spin from Jack Beaton triggered him into 2 other cars, Bianca Bustamante and Matteo Quintarelli going around, Beaten out on the spot, which triggered the safety car. A very unfortunate end for the Australian, but there was more drama as Flavio Olivieri and Sebastian Murray got a little bit too close together. Fortunately, everybody managed to avoid the Italian, but Nicola Lacorte ended up making a mistake all of his own. The Prema driver struck the wall, but incredibly was able to continue. But there was drama elsewhere, as there would be another safety car to finish us off, and James Wharton would be able to hold on for the victory ahead of Tuka Tarpanen and Arvid Lindblad across the line. James Wharton's lead increases from 6 points to 13, and now the Australian has a chance to seal the championship or see it slip further away from reality. It's going to be high pressure on the Australian James Wharton in this race, but if anyone can soak up the pressure and turn it into a race win, it's James Wharton. So James Wharton took his 3rd race win of the season in the earlier encounter here in the Yas Marina circuit, having taken victories in Kuwait and Dubai, and now here he is again, getting the job done in fine fashion. A brilliant performance then from James Wharton. A race winner in Kuwait and a race winner in Yas Marina. I did mention there he got a win in Dubai, but no, it was Tuka Tarpanen who got the hat-trick last time, of course. Tuka will be wanting to take a win off him. They are currently 4-3 in terms of race wins, with Tarpanen just 1 more ahead of James Wharton, but it's the Australian's consistency that's kept him in front in terms of the championship standings. Sadly, both Yuga Mugachukwu and Valerio Rinicella are now out of the championship running, so it's obviously down to the others to put on a bit of a spectacle. Down on the start straight then, Feline Wang is getting rather used to chatting to the man in pole position. James Wharton, once again.
James, pole position again. Are you start thinking about the championship win now?
Yeah, I think now I extended my points gap this morning, so I think it's time to do the job again and put myself in a really good spot for tomorrow, and yeah, just do my job again. I already did it this morning, so don't really need to change much now, and yeah, I have the speed to go with.
Have a good race. 那刚刚呢，我是问到 James， 他们呢，就是他，因为他上一场呢已经拿到了一个冠军，现在呢又是从头被发车，他自己有没有想到？因为如果他这场获胜的话，就很有可能拿到本年度的总冠军。他提到呢，他自己的表现呢，对自己来讲是非常满意的，上午也是状态非常好。现在呢，他的车的设置也没有太大的变化，所以他相信呢自己也会有一个好的表现。Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Feline. Good to hear once again from James Wharton. An exciting battle, an excellent run for a brilliant young racing driver who is on the verge of potentially becoming the latest champion in the F4 UAE Championship battle. It really has been an extraordinary performance from the competitors out there over the years, all the way back to 2016 when Jonathan Aberdeen took his title victory. And since then we've had Charles Weerts, Matteo Nannini, Francesco Pizzi, Enzo Trulli and Charlie Weerts, who have been the ones to make the history over the F4 UAE to become champions. And it's definitely going to be an intriguing opportunity to see if we're going to see the first Australian win the title. It's definitely been an exciting and intriguing battle to lead us up to that point. But we are in a very exciting situation now for all of the contenders, as they know exactly how fast things have been so far. 141 racing laps have been completed so far in the F4 United Arab Emirates Championship. There's going to be a handful more before this championship is well and truly wrapped up. There's still quite a lot to do and quite a lot to talk about over the course of the remaining races this weekend. Been quite an exciting challenge. This may be the season with the fewest races in it over the course of F4 UAE's history, which is usually run anywhere between 18 and 24 races. This year only the 15. But what a sensational battle it is going to be. It's not just right to hear from James Wharton on the brink of the title battle. We're also going to hear from the man who starts beside him on the starting grid, or certainly in the hunt for the title fight beside him at least. Tuukka Tarppanen, the Tiger.
Hey, Tuukka, starting from P2 and with your teammates also there, and what will be your approach for this race?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get a good start and do my best. This race would be really good if I can win.
Okay, have a good race. 刚刚我问到Tuukka呢，他是和队友呢同时在第一行发车。那他也提到呢，他希望能有一个非常好的起步，同时呢获得比赛的胜利。Back to you guys.
So Tuukka Tarppanen determined to keep this title fight alive as long as humanly possible. Yuga Chukwu lining up third on the grid along with Arvid Lindblad in P4. Keanu Al-Azari, one of the stars of race one, despite starting from third initially and having a problem off the line, he dropped to the back of the field and then stormed his way through to P5, to P11 I should say, but with the fifth fastest lap of the race, which puts him right back at the front with a second chance where he belongs. Theophile Nall doing a great job in sixth position, and then Pedro Claro and Zachary David, they're on the fourth row. There is Keanu Al-Azari, who the locals will be absolutely delighted for. This young man who lives on the Palm Jumeirah in Dubai, just an hour and a half down the road. What a fantastic opportunity for Keanu Al-Azari. An incredible young talent, one of the stars of UAE karting. Did a great job in the FIA Karting World and European Championships under the Tony Kart banner. And now here he is representing Yas Heat on the team's home circuit, and he has been fast all weekend long. We're really hoping, and I'm sure the locals here are hoping as well, that he can transform it into a strong and positive result to end the season. So Pedro Claro and Zachary David will be on the fourth row of the grid as mentioned. Valerio Vinicella and Nicola Lacorte on the fifth row, and then Will McIntyre and Akshay Bora. Brando Badoa and James Pazik, Jessica Lashkedo and Alex Bolduev. Here is the Brazilian talent Pedro Claro, who lines up seventh on the grid. He's been very impressive indeed in these last two race weekends. Great to see the Brazilian put on such a staunch battle from the outset. Really putting on an excellent display of talent and ability as he runs then on the fourth row of the grid. Vinicella, Lacorte, McIntyre and Bora. And then we have Badura and Pazik, Carrasquedo and Bolduev. There's some big battles from a few of the drivers further back. Hamder Al-Kubaisi and Luciano Morano have crept up the order thanks to their tactic of deciding to make a pit stop early on. Because obviously the starting grid positions for race 2 is determined by the fastest laps from race 1. So James Wharton was the fastest from Tuukka Tarppanen, Yuga Chukwu and Arvid Lindblad. And that's why those four drivers are in the positions they're in on the starting grid. Sadly though, for Yuga Chukwu and Valerio Vinicella, the title battle is over for them. They can only now fight for third position. A real shame for Yuga Chukwu in particular, who dominated the first two races of the year and was certainly leading up until the hiccup in Dubai. Had it not been for that, I think the American would still have been in this title fight, alive and kicking. But there are just two men left, and yet again, they line up on the front row of the grid. 13 points between them, and it It's James Wharton and Tuka Tarpanen, the Australian and the Flying Finn for Mumbai Falcons, starting this race from the front of the grid. Third on the grid is Yuga Chukwu alongside the British driver Arvid Lindblad for High Tech. Then it's Keanu Alazali alongside Teofil Nal in the Santa Lock, right up in P6. Pedro Claro is beside Zachary David as they share the fourth row of the starting grid. And then Valerio Vinicella is alongside Nicola Lacorte, and they round out the top 10. Will McIntyre and Akshay Bora are together on row 6, both putting on a good show. And then Brando Badua is 13th on the grid as he lines up beside the other Australian in this race, James Pizik. Jesse Kadashkedo lines up beside Alex Boljuev, RHGP versus XL. Then it is Hamda Al-Kubaisi in 17th for Yazheat alongside Santalox's Luciano Morano. 19th on the grid is Mohammed Ibrahim, and Kanato Lee of Japan lines up alongside him. Row 11 is Valentin Klus. He lines up beside the Australian Noah Lyle. Then it is Alex Abkasava. He goes alongside Fernando Barrichello on the starting grid on row 12. Federico Rafai and Noah Stromsted not in the places they wanted to be on the grid. Rafael Narak alongside the ever-improving Kai Darianani. And then Nandavud Biram Bhakti is on the 15th row alongside the Swiss ace Lina Bula. Matteo Quintarelli is on row 16. He's on the inside line. Dion Gauda is on the outside line beside him. Flavio Olivieri lines up alongside Vicky Blokina in the R2 race Cavicel car. Then Ismail Ahmed alongside Georgi Sharavsky, Uzbekistan versus Kazakhstan. And then it is Sebastian Murray alongside Theo Jensen, two drivers that have been wanting to make a comeback in this one. Bianca Bustamante lines up on the back row alongside Jack Beaton, courtesy of neither of them completing the first lap. So the contenders are now gearing themselves up for a bit of a charge through the field. And this Yas Marina circuit definitely will give us a good show. The penultimate race of the season, the 14th race of 2023 in the F4 United Arab Emirates Championship. And quite a stunning set of drivers we have got to compete in it. Quite an incredible display. By my mathematics, this is an absolutely scintillating battle ahead of us in what is set to be the, I'm trying to do the math here very quickly, 138th race in F4 United Arab Emirates history. I'm sure somebody in the know is going to be able to correct me very quickly indeed. But do keep your comments and messages coming in during safety cars and during delays. I'm sure those will come in handy. But this could very well be the moment of truth for either Tuka Tarpanen or James Wharton. For one, it's to keep the dream alive. For the other one, it's time to seal it. They are teammates. They have been racing all the way through the season. And they've had their moments on the circuit. Look back to Q8 when Tuka Tarpanen leant very tightly indeed into the inside apex to steal the win away from James Wharton. They pretty much rubbed wheels at that point. So they know how to go wheel to wheel and keep it clean. They did in race 1, of course, earlier on this morning, when they went out of turn 1 side by side and held it until Tuka Tarpanen just had to let it go. Now, we seem to have an absentee on the starting grid. It looks as though we don't have Valerio Rinicella on the starting grid. Ah, there is Rinicella, I believe, trying to make his way to the grid. Either that or Rinicella has made his way to the pit lane, but certainly the fans in the stands are going to be treated to an excellent display. Oh, there is Rinicella. He has managed to get himself into position. So now the contenders are geared up and ready. We're in for a great display. Can James Wharton hang on to the victory once again in front of Tuka Tarpanen? The championship showdown rearing its head here at the F4 United Arab Emirates Championship. Race 14 of 15, race 2 of round 5 on the Yas Marina circuit. And in 23 minutes plus 1 lap, we might have an answer as to who's going to be our champion in 2023. You never know. Will this be the moment? Let's find out. Good start from James Wharton. He launches away. There's another stall on the grid. And that looks to me like Zachary David hasn't got away. Now he gets moving. But for the second race in a row, someone in the top 10 is left on the grid. Zachary David does eventually get moving. And they're side by side again. And this time it looks to me as though Tuka Tarpanen has been able to take the lead away from James Wharton. No, Tarpanen is still swarming around behind the Australian. So Tarpanen is still trying to make his beard as Yuga Chukwu battles with Lindblad. Lindblad goes up to the inside and they bang wheels. Look at Chukwu trying to hang on to it. Teofil Nal trying to come through. Up in the 4th position. He squeezes Arvid Lindblad. Gets through. Keanu Alazari is in the mix there as well. Terrific start from Teofil Nal. Gunning for a podium in the penultimate race of the season. And Wharton has emerged in front of Tarpanen. Then Yuga Chukwu. Then Nal. Then Lindblad. And on the inside, that's Claro trying to get through on the inside of Keanu Alazari. Alazari will not let that move happen. As they head for the left-hander, this is going to be an interesting one for Teofil Nal to pressure Yuga Chukwu. Diving in again up on the inside. A really intriguing situation. Whoa, and off the road goes one of the Santalocks. That looked to me like Luciano Morano running a little bit wide. Manages to get it back on the road again. As Akshay Bora drifts in through the course, up there in front of Jesse Galashgado. Some great performances in F4 UAE this season. And it's going to be very, very hard to say goodbye to them at the end of tomorrow's final race as they duke for position. 2 or 3 of them running wide in the hairpin on the run to the back straight. And oh, a couple of drivers running very deep. Fernando Barrichello unable to make the corner. Drifts off. And you can see drivers desperately trying to break the toe. They do not want the slipstream to be enacted up front. Look at Chukwu. Seems to have lost a little bit of ground here. Brandon Badoa having a look on the inside of Nicola Lacorte. And that's a run wide, that's Niall. Niall seems to run wide, there's 2 cars come together. Oh, that's Nicola Lacorte, I think, tackling with Brando Badoa. As Claro now goes the far side of Arvid Lindblad. They're going to go wheel to wheel down to the corner. That's Rinicella popping up behind them both. But Claro is going to try and beat Lindblad to the corner around the outside. And there's 2 cars tangled up. That looks to me like it is indeed Brando Badoa having connected with Nicola Lacorte. So that is absolutely not in the script for either driver. Very unfortunate indeed. So Lacorte and Badoa have gone off. Razik seems to have not come through on the first lap either. And Morano and Lyle are in the wars as well down at the back end of the field. So apparently the race start is under investigation. Who's that with a damaged front wing? That's one of the Yazid cars with a broken front wing. Safety car, safety car. So we're going to have a look at that again. Now this is Bora dueling away with one of the high-techs, but look up the road. Diving in on the inside, that was brave from Nicola Lacorte. And unfortunately, that was a move that he could never have committed to without causing an issue. But there's a puncture for James Pazik as well. So Pazik is parking his car at the same time as those 2 are having their accident. So Pazik has got no left rear wheel. And coming out of the pits, that is Noah Lyle. Rejoining at the back behind Luciano Morano, I think. But one of the Yazid cars did not have a front wing that's still on the car, essentially. Safety car is out for the 2nd race in a row. Well, disappointing. There is Pazik. You can see his wheel is not punctured. It's actually broken on the far side of the car. Brandon Badoa has already got out of his. Nicola Lacorte gets out of his car now. So that's 2 drivers out on the spot, along with James Pazik on the other side of the road. Very unfortunate for all 3 drivers. I really want to kind of pick out what happened to Pazik, actually. So what happened to Pazik? Oh, he had a separate incident. That's why. Look, the cram goes into the side of James Pazik, and that's broken his wheel. So that's 2 separate incidents happening at exactly the same time. Pazik is out, but Badoa and Lacorte are already driving into each other. So that pretty much signals the end for all 3. That's going to be a bit of an awkward safety car as well, because that's 3 cars in the same space. They're going to complete the lap, no problem, but obviously there are a few drivers out of position. I do believe that's Hamda Al-Kubaisi that had the problem with the front wing. She's coming to the pits to repair it, so I'm afraid she is going to drop to the back of the field. That's very unfortunate for Hamda Al-Kubaisi. There she is. You can see her going down pit road now. And she will pull off into her allotted bay so that they can replace the front nose cone section. Look how close Wharton is to the safety car. He can sense that this is just another opportunity to get 1 step closer to the title. And if it stays like this and James Wharton takes the win over Tuukka Tarpanen, then the gap goes up again from 13 points to 20 points. So this is going to be very interesting indeed, because obviously we've got 25 points available in the last race of the day, as there is in this one. So if James Wharton wins this one, then the championship is pretty much one hand on the trophy to him. To win the final race, Wharton is lower. It's the only way it can be done if Wharton wins this Everyone's loving it. But Tuka Tarpanen cannot afford to lose that second place, ahead of Ugachukwu and Al-Azhari. Great to see those two battling for position. So there are the Bobcats going to battle. So a really fascinating situation as all of the contenders are battling away. But they're trying to keep the tyre temperatures and the brakes temperatures up so that when they can go racing once again, they have very impressive starts. They want to make the most of it. The safety car is out here at Yas Marina. Just waiting to see if everybody is going to come through in fine style. People watching in from the W Hotel at the side of the road there. Even a few spectators watching from the skies. James Wharton, Tuka Tarpanen and Yuga Ugachukwu is the top three at the present moment behind the safety car. Keanu Al-Azhari, Arvid Lindblad and Valerio Rinicella. That's the reason we're on the safety car. Brando Badua and Nicola Lacorte, along with James Bazik's car in a separate incident, all parked up at the same part of the race circuit. Then it is behind the top five of Wharton, Tarpanen, Ugachukwu, Al-Azhari and Lindblad. Valerio Rinicella is in sixth, ahead of his teammate Pedro Clero. And then Teofil Nal, Will McIntyre and Akshay Bora. Then Alex Bolduev in 11th position in front of Jesse Kadashkedo. And look, that's how you follow the safety car, who's gone off the road to avoid the incidents. And they're doing that so that the drivers do not run the risk of picking up debris and puncturing their tyres. It gives the marshals plenty of opportunity to clear the wreckage. So behind the top 10, 11th is Alex Bolduev, 12th is Jesse Kadashkedo, ahead of Valentin Klus and Federico Rifai. Then Alex Abkasava in front of Mohammed Ibrahim. Donato Lee is ahead of Flavio Olivieri and Noah Stromsted. Kai Darianani doing a great job, the rookie in 20th place in front of Nandavud Bidon Bakti. And then Lena Bula ahead of Ismail Ahmed, who's going well. Matteo Pintarelli and Fernando Barrichello. Victoria Blachina, Sebastian Murray, Jack Beaton and Zach David. Rafael Narak has just made his way to the pit, so he's going to drop to the back. Theo Jensen, then Dion Gauda, Georgi Janavsky, Bianca Bustamante, Hamda Al-Kubaisi out of the pits, Noah Lyle, and Rafael Narak will fall to the back. I think Luciano Morano, unfortunately, has retired from the race, as to, of course, have Lacorte, Badua and Bazik in their incident at the final turn on the end of the first lap. So by my mathematics, we have 36 cars still running, with 14 minutes plus the additional lap still remaining. Obviously, when you've got 2 or 3 cars that have come off on the same bit of road, you obviously have to take a little bit of time to get it swept away again. Look how close James Wharton is following the safety car. Just wants this race to get going again. Come on, I'm this close to winning the championship. Get on with it. Wharton, Tarpanen, Ugachukwu. It's been that same top 3 for most of this season. And the top 3 drivers in the championship are the top 3 drivers in this race, and in that order too. Keanu Al-Azhari, though, 4th position, wants to change things up a little bit. He has a podium. He took a brilliant 2nd place in race 3 in Dubai a week ago. He would dearly love to get a victory if it's possible. And he'll know that it is. He knows this circuit well. The team is based on this very circuit. Set up, of course, by the Abu Dhabi government. As long as all cleared as well, and as long as the protocols are adhered to, the marshals obviously have to get to their safety posts again. So I would think we're actually going to have to go round one more time, because the marshals have moved the car, but they're not back into their statutory post positions yet. And that's the critical element that we need, because you can obviously have the track cleared, but the marshals need to get back to their posts so that they can be prepared for the next eventuality. And that's why we're still under the safety car. Yes, the track is clear, but the marshals have to return to their posts. If they're not on post and something happens, well, I don't even want to contemplate it. Safety first, always, always safety first. Never ever have the attitude of, well, Let's just see what happens. Never do that. So the competitors will go around one final time, I think, but the track is now essentially clear. Wharton is almost flirting with the rear bumper of the safety car. He's that close to it. But James Wharton wants this race to get started. Tuka Tarpanen, second place. He'll have the eye of the tiger today. Yuka Chukwu in third. The safety car has been instructed to go at full speed, and that is so that we can get this race started as quickly as possible. A fabulous opportunity incoming now. So the drivers are battling away with a great opportunity in the offing. Let's see how this is going to play out now. A sensational battle and a terrific run. James Wharton, Tuka Tarpanen and Yuka Chukwu. That's your top three as we get ready to restart. Keanu Al-Azari in fourth position. Arvid Lindblad in fifth position in the high-tech with the Red Bull colours. Very interesting and intriguing battle is set to greet us on the circuit now. Just waiting for the indication that the lights will go out on the safety car, and then we can race once more. So the drivers just gearing themselves up, ready for a restart. There's Valentin Klus, getting himself around the course in the PHM machine. He wants to be there at the sharp end all the way through this time. He doesn't want to get himself caught up in any little incidents. Did I just see the lights off on the safety car? Is that right? Are we going to go racing this time by? Safety car in at the end of this lap. There we go. There's confirmation. So James Wharton and Tuka Tarpanen will be able to get up to race speed fairly quickly. And this is where we really get to see the title protagonists go at it. Tuka Tarpanen has one objective. Do not let James Wharton win this race. He wants to try and get that gap back down to 6 points if he can. He's got to beat him. And Tuka Tarpanen knows what he has to do here. He knows what he has to achieve. The F4 United Arab Emirates Championship title comes down to the last 10 minutes plus one lap, plus the race tomorrow. James Wharton's dropped the hammer. And this is going to be the chance now as they head to the chicane. Tuka Tarpanen needs to stay relatively close. But he's dropped the hammer at exactly the right moment for him. And Tuka Tarpanen is trying to stay with him. He goes quite deep on the brakes, but he's going to be compromised on the exit. So James Wharton is going to have the perfect restart over his teammate Tuka Tarpanen. Green, 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 green once again here at Yas Marina. 9 minutes to go, plus the additional lap on top. And Chukwu follows in the wheel tracks of Tarpanen. Al-Azari behind Chukwu. Lindblad behind Al-Azari. And then the two teammates at MP. Vinicello and Claro. Claro drifts wide. That could be enough for Teofil Nal to sneak up on the inside line and get the position. He's certainly having a look, and Claro drifts wide onto the curb. That's going to be enough for Teofil Nal, isn't it? Well, Claro is going to try and stay alongside, but the Frenchman has to bail out of the move. So Teofil Nal is going to try again. Now he's going to dive to the inside line. He can't get there. Brilliant racecraft so far this season from Teofil Nal, but on that particular occasion he had to let Pedro Claro go. Wharton, Tarpanen, Yuka Chukwu, Al-Azari, Lindblad and Renicella. There is the number 5, that is Will McIntyre in the high-tech. Running currently in front of Bora, Bolduev, Kalashkedo, Klus, Rifai, Abkasava and Mohammed Ibrahim. Up to the inside line. There's Akshay Bora just trying to cover his bases there. A bit of pressure from Alex Bolduev, but Bolduev does not make the move. Still accelerating as they drop down the crest. Great racing everywhere you look. There's a nice little battle developing there between Kai Daryanani and Nanavad Bidambakti for what is P20, as Niall desperately covers Will McIntyre whilst also trying a look on the inside of Pedro Claro. I'll tell you what, these two new hairpins that have been added into the configuration over the last 2 seasons have definitely added to the race quality, as Tarpanen is desperately trying to shake off Yuka Chukwu. Chukwu wants second position. The championship's over for Chukwu, so nothing else matters now other than winning races and scoring points. Tarpanen's got to defend. as Wharton is disappearing. This is Tarpanen's chances to win the championship evaporating. Plus desperately trying to hang on here in front of Federico Rifai as Niall goes wheel to wheel with Will McIntyre, and actually Bora follows in the draft. Bora's going to try and get them both. He has to try and commit. Surely he's not going to try and split them up the middle. No, he's going to go to the far left and take a look at the inside of Niall. Niall commits alongside McIntyre. They're both going to drift out wide, and actually Bora's going to get them both. McIntyre runs off the road. Actually, Lindblad going wheel to wheel with Al-Azhari. But it looked to me as though no problems at all for Akshay Bora. He was the wise one. He stayed back, waiting for his moment. As up the inside, Teofil Niall's going to drift wide now. Alex Bolduev trying to make up places. And Al-Azhari has got ahead of Arvid Lindblad once again. Lindblad trying to get through. Wasn't able to manage the move. As Klus dives in for the inside in the final couple of corners. Bora now going wheel to wheel with Mohammed Ibrahim. That's Valentin Klus, sorry, going wheel to wheel with Mohammed Ibrahim. Down the straight once again. Look at Akshay Bora. He's actually pulled clear of Teofil Niall. And again, a big duel going on as Valentin Klus tries to shake off Mohammed Ibrahim. Alexander Kasava's in there as well. That's Valentin Klus drifting off the road. Driving up the inside though. That is one of the high-techs getting involved in this little tussle. And that is Kanato Lee, along with Flavio Olivieri and Nandawood Bidambakti. A lot of great talents going down the hill. Still, drivers challenging for the moves. Mohammed Ibrahim on the inside of one of the Cram competition cars. I think that's Flavio Olivieri. Speaking of Cram, Sebastian Murray's made massive progress off the start and is charging his way through the field. He's up to 24th at the end of the last lap. And James Wharton leading and stretching out the advantage. Tarpanen has done everything he can to hold on to second. The problem is he spent so long defending second that he's now let Wharton go. And up the inside, that is Carrasquedo, I do believe. Yes, it is. Carrasquedo, the Mexican, who had to sit out a good body of last year due to ill health, has actually fought back beautifully in 2023. Federico Rifai going wheel to wheel with him, and Carrasquedo has the inside line. Rifai's going to have to go right round the outside to pull off something special. Valentin Klus is trying to close up on both of them. Carrasquedo has the move. He holds the inside line and the places that go with it. That is Carrasquedo, P12. They've got to make up a couple more if they want to get into the points. Not a bad run so far in this one from Lena Pula either. Oh, a spin! 3 cars together in turn 1. That's Ibrahim. And also in the mix there, that looks to me like we've got Guy Darianani and potentially Nandawood Bidambakti. Well, we need to double check on the identities of everybody involved in that one, but certainly 3 cars involved at turn 1. Looked to me like Mohammed Ibrahim escaped without incident. Let's have a look. Well, we only really got to see the bottom end of that. And there's an RHGP car with nowhere to go, but there's a car that's hit the RHGP car, leaving it nowhere to go. And I think that's actually Abkasava, Olivieri, and Darianani. Oh, a spin out! That's another view of it. No, that's a separate incident. I do apologise. That's the 91 going around this time. All sorts of dramas in this last race of the day for the F4s. Safety car is on track. No major surprises. Safety car is deployed. Well, drama everywhere you look in F4 UAE, and it looks to me as though Wharton doesn't have to panic too much about Tuka Tarpanen anymore. That's Sebastian Murray. And it's game over for the Cram. Let's see what happens. So there's an incident up the road. This is on the inside of Beulah. That's a tagged spin from Zachary David, and Murray, bless him, has absolutely nowhere to go. He couldn't react in time. He was too close to the 2 cars. He was obviously battling them for position. So Murray had nowhere to go, and that is the issue between Alex Abkasava along with Kai Darianani. And they're off the road. Mohammed Ibrahim managed to keep going. I don't think Flavio Olivieri's come through either, so problems for the Italian Flavio Olivieri. That's a lot of drivers now on the sidelines to join Lacorte, Badua and Pazik, along with Luciano Morano. But now we have 2 cars off at turn 1, Abkasava and Darianani. Their cars connected. Murray colliding with Zach David as well. David, I think, has kept going. But now you can see that the safety car is going to drag them around the outside. And based on the fact that not only do we have Darianani and Abkasava at turn particular occasion. He just couldn't get out of the throttle. Trouble is, you commit to that left-hander, and it's a very fast left-hand corner. If a car goes off directly in front of you, you can't really get out of the throttle fast enough to avoid it. Blameless Sebastian Murray. Racing incident for my money. But that's a very unfortunate end to both drivers' races. So no points for Zach David, no points for Sebastian Murray, and obviously Cassava, Olivieri and Daniel Nani are in the wars on another part of the circuit. So James Wharton and Tuka Tarpanen are going to lead this race out behind the safety car to the finish. We've got a minute left of it, but there's not going to be enough time to run another racing lap, because obviously the safety car's got to remove 3 cars. The recovery crews, I should say, have got to remove 3 cars from the scene. So very unfortunate that we didn't quite get the lights the flag race that some of you were hoping for. But James Wharton is going to be 20 points clear at the end of this race, with 25 available in race 3. So the title fight will go down to the last race of the season, but ultimately in that race tomorrow, Tuka Tarpanen has to win, with James Wharton finishing 8th or lower. It's a tall order. But James Wharton is looking good, not just for the hat-trick, but for the championship title, and he thoroughly deserves it as well if it goes his way. Both men do, to be fair. 3, 2, 1, time's up. So the time runs down to 0 here at Yas Marina. We're under safety car, and those cars are not going to be cleared in time. So we are going to finish the second race of the weekend in the F4 United Arab Emirates Championship under the safety car, and James Wharton will be just 1 sleep away from winning this title. 20 points will be the advantage over Tuka Tarpanen, with 1 race to play out. It's not won yet. It's looking very, very good indeed. Looks like a damage to one of the RHGP cars going through there as well. So thank goodness for the safety car. No need to race at racing speeds. There is the Bobcat going to retrieve Sebastian Murray's car from its position on the field. And that's not going to be done in time to go racing. So this race, as a couple of them have done in F4 UAE 2023, will once again finish under safety car, and it'll be James Wharton who gets the job done. Now there's Flavio Olivieri's car being manoeuvred out of harm's way, and that's on the exit of turn 1. So he obviously got out of the issue between the 2 drivers spinning, but clearly the car had damage to it. And there is Sebastian Murray, both Crown competition cars on the sidelines. Very unfortunate, but that's motorsport. You deal with the punches, blow by blow. And of course, it's incredibly difficult at this level of motor racing, where all of the drivers' mistakes are under scrutiny, under the eye and the gazing eye of the motorsport world. Not like in soccer, when you can pitch Juventus under 17s against AC Milan under 17s and nobody sees what happens in that match. Everybody gets to see what these guys do, whether they make mistakes or whether they triumph, but they've all got to learn at their own pace. One of the drivers was talking to me in the lunch break, saying it's quite tough and brutal how people are critical of us when we make mistakes in the public eye. And I said, well, absolutely, because let's not forget, in his sole GP2 season, before he got into Formula 1, Lewis Hamilton actually got disqualified from a race that year. Everyone makes mistakes. Nobody is immune from them. But we have to give them the grace and the ability to defend their own journey and to learn at their own pace. So it won't be the first time this year that we have a race finishing under safety car. But for James Wharton, it'll be the sweetest safety car win he's ever had, because he knows now that there's going to be a 20-point advantage going into tomorrow's final race, with 25 points on the table for the win. The title is not won, and it won't be won today, but it's very close. Very close indeed. Tuka Tarpanen will not give up, and let's not forget that he has done an amazing job to win this year's rookie title. Take that, never happens. for the F4 UAE Championship drivers. So it's going to be a really intriguing battle. It isn't over yet, folks. Just don't forget that we've got 20 points lead at the end of this race if it stays like this. There are 25 points available for the win. Tarpanen could still win the championship tomorrow if he wins the race and James Wharton finishes 8th or lower. And there we will have it. So a sensational battle coming to an obvious and natural conclusion. But what a solid battle it has been between these two all season long, and they're going to take this battle right to the wire. The safety car lights switch off, and the two drivers who are battling for the title tomorrow will cross the line 1 and 2. The safety car will peel in, and James Wharton and Tuka Tarpanen will be allowed to cross the line in unison. Yuga Ugachukwu will finish right with them, just to prove a point, I think. And look at that, they're going to go side by side over the line, I do believe. Available tomorrow. There is the checkered flag. It's already been played as the leaders have come through. Only 32 of the 40 cars able to finish the race. Abkasava, Olivieri, Darianani, Murray, Morano, Laporte, Badua and Pazik all out of the race. And James Wharton is victorious ahead of Tuka Tarpanen and Yuga Ugachukwu and Keanu Alizari, Arvid Lindblad, Valeria Rinicella, Pedro Clero. And the final points are scored by Akshay Bora, who gets his best result of the season in 8th place. Theophile Niall and Alex Bolduev. Some really impressive performances in that race. For me, though, driver of the day in that particular race, I'm afraid that one's going to Akshay Bora. For anyone who disagrees with me, tough luck. Bora has been fighting for a points finish all season through ill health in Q8. He still managed to charge his way back to 11th place on several occasions. He's earned this. He's his own toughest critic. And for him to fight his way on merit into a points-paying position, fair play. You've got to take your hat off to him. He's earned this. Theophile Niall in 9th position. Alex Bolduev in P10. And it's always nice at the end of the season when a driver has worked through their rookie orientation season and come away with championship points. You know the dream is alive and kicking. You know that there's something special to come. It's always really pleasant to see. Kai Darianani, I think he would have been hoping to be one of those. He's still got a chance tomorrow though, and he's made a titanic leap forward in the last few weeks. There's still plenty to write about these youngsters. The F4 UAE Grid 2023 is ultimately, in my opinion, the toughest F4 grid there has ever been. And when you consider that these 40 young men and women are covered by, on average, 2 seconds. That's the whole field, that's all 40 cars, 2 seconds. Even the F1 grid isn't covered by 2 seconds these days. You have to look about 3 or 4 seconds between that lot. What an amazing array of competitors. 40 of the best young racing drivers from around the world. You can throw a blanket over the lot of them. James Wharton, desperate to get back to the pits and celebrate. 2 wins out of 2. We clearly saw Tuka Tarpanen's hat-trick in Dubai and thought, right, if you can do that, I can do it too. 2 out of 2. Tomorrow he could make it a hat-trick, and that really would make him the F4 United Arab Emirates champion 2023. A great run. So a fabulous situation now overnight. It's going to be a great performance from James Wharton in today's race that sees him en route to the title. He hasn't won the title yet, but he only needs 5 points from tomorrow to get the job done. He can finish 7th or better. He'll be champion. Live it up, James. Live it up, mate. That is win number 4 this season. one step away from the title. Commiserations to Tuka Tarpanen, but he'll be back for more tomorrow. It ain't over yet, Tiger. Bring it back, and you'll do a great job once you've had 40 winks. So great battles so far in the F4 United Arab Emirates Championship 2023 here. Who was the driver with the broken front wing? Answers on a postcard. Well, that honour went the way that honour went the way of the RHGP competitor, Zachary David, caught up in the incident. Let's have a look back over the highlights. Side by side between Wharton and Tarpanen, that was very close this time. But once again, Wharton was able to hold the lead at the right moment, despite the pressure put on by Tuka Tarpanen. But there were a lot of gruesome battles in this one. Here's the first one. It ended in disaster for 3 drivers. Physique getting damage, and then Lecorte and Badua. Lecorte. Yes, it is Lecorte and Badua. I was right the first time, ending up taking each other off the road. And then we had this little drama. Teofil Nal drifting wide and Akshay Bora picking up the pieces and the points that went with it. Lindblad dueling away with Al-Azhari in the same breath. And then Darianani comes together with Alex Abkasava after Olivieri and Ibrahim also connect. And further round, Zach David makes the bid on the inside of Lena Bula. It doesn't work, and poor Sebastian Murray has nowhere to go. That all brought out the final safety car period, but by that point, the race was already decided. James Wharton takes the victory in front of Tuka Tarpanen and Yuga Chukwu, and with 20 points advantage over the Finn, he only has to show up tomorrow, and the championship title is almost certainly going to be his. However, it's never over until it's over. But Tuka Tarpanen still feels like he has a chance. He certainly does. All he has to do is take the win tomorrow, and if James Wharton is not 7th or better, then Tarpanen could steal the title away. But it's definitely a tight run now to the finish of this epic championship fight. And we're going to get to see a truly scintillating battle all the way to the end.
Tell us, you are this close to the overall championship now, and how do you feel? And there's one more race to go.
Yeah, I feel very confident, very happy for what I've done so far, but still need to finish tomorrow. Don't have to finish as high as I did today, but still want to go for the win tomorrow and get a clean sweep this weekend and finish the championship on a good path. It was a hard couple of rounds for me at the start, but now about to win the championship. I'm really happy, but still need to get the job done tomorrow, and can't thank everyone enough for everything so far, but we still have tomorrow to win the race.
Congratulations. 刚刚呢，我是问到 James 呢，他是提到呢，他已经赢了2场比赛了，但是他依然呢，就是明天呢，并不一定要拿到冠军，但是呢，他还是会保持自己的状态，争取明天呢有一个好的发挥。同时呢，明天他也是从头位发车的。Back to you guys.
Thank you, Feline. Great to hear from James Wharton, who clearly must be feeling pretty calm and collected about things now. After 2 race victories, he gets it very close to the title. Tarpanen in 2nd from Ugochukwu, Al-Azhari in 4th place from Lindblad, then Valerio Vinicella in 6th position in front of Pedro Claro, Akshay Bora scoring his first points, Teofil Nal in 9th, and Alex Bolduev in P10. A fabulous result for James Wharton and Tuka Tarpanen. For the Mumbai Falcons, it's yet another 1-2 finish in their title-winning year in the F4 UAE Teams Championship fight. Tuka Tarpanen has already been confirmed as the leading rookie. So a terrific end to the season for James Wharton. 2 out of 2 here in Yas Marina. Just 1 race to go. And if he gets that done tomorrow, then nobody can take it away from him. A fabulous performance here in Yas Marina. It really has been a sensational race weekend so far for the Australian on the top spot. So now we will conclude things with 1 race tomorrow. We'll share the celebration with the 3 drivers on the podium, of course. But it is going to be a scintillating finish to a brilliant second race. James Wharton in front of Tuka Tarpanen and Yuga Wigachukwu in today's battle. James Wharton is going to be one step closer to the title fight. So there is Yuga Wigachukwu. This must be a very tough feeling for him in third position. The championship is over as far as he's concerned, but he's put on an amazing fight all year. Tuka Tarpanen taking his place on the second step of the podium. He's even taller than Yuga Wigachukwu when he's a higher step up the podium. That's how tall Yuga Wigachukwu really is. But James Wharton is 5 points away from sealing this championship title. He doesn't even need to win tomorrow. He just needs to score a decent set of points. The job is done. A valiant effort from Yuga Wigachukwu and Tuka Tarpanen this season. They really have put on a good display. But James Wharton is the one who has made this weekend his own. 2 wins out of 2 so far. Who knows? He could turn it into the championship title tomorrow. A fabulous end to today's activities, but there is one race to go tomorrow. So 23 minutes plus 1 lap remain of this season in the F4 United Arab Emirates Championship 2023. And it has been a solid and exciting effort. So as we finish off in style and the boys get busy with the fizzy, James Wharton is less than 24 hours away from sealing the F4 United Arab Emirates Championship title of 2023. He can celebrate in style with his teammate Tuka Tarpanen, but we're going to leave it there and come to the season finale tomorrow. From Feline Wang down in pit lane, from myself, Jake Sanson, in the commentary box, and from all of our crew, to those of you watching, thank you very much indeed for being with us. We only get to do it one more time.